Hi, welcome to class. Today we're going to be handling Boubou top. We're going to be making a complete Boubou top. I'm going to teach you how to cut, how to sew. So hands on, by God's grace, we're going to do this together and we're going to achieve it. So you're welcome. So a Boubou top is a free gown, a free top, a free top that we wear and very easy to make. I've made some illustrations on the board right there and right there. It can actually have any neckline of your choice. So usually with about 2 yards of fabric, you're good to go for a Boubou top. And we call it a Boubou top because it's just basically a top. So your desired length, that's up to you. So for this Boubou top, the required measurement is your top length, like I said, from your shoulder to your desired length. Some people want it smart, some people want it longer so that they can put it over a pant, a jean. Then your sleeve length is taken from the neck, from right here to your desired length, wherever you want that to get to, wherever you want your Boubou to stop. Then we have the bust. You take the bust round the fullest part, of your bust. That's the measurement with just one finger. Make sure the measurement is straight at the back. So you take that. Mine is 45. Then the waist, also bring it to the waist length. Mine is 41. Then the hip, ensure to use your own measurement in this place. Make sure you don't use my measurement, otherwise you'll be making for me. So but in this class we are making for you or your client. So my hip is 48. You take the hip measurement around the fullest part of your hip. Now we need 2 additional measurements, the shoulder to bust, and this is taken from the shoulder to the bust. That is where you want your sleeve to stop. Then your shoulder to waist, your shoulder all the way to the waist. Now these are the few measurements that we need to actually get ourselves a Boubou top. Now what is the process? What else do I need? What are the materials I definitely need? Definitely you need your fabric. I'm going to be using my iron to prepare my fabric, a pair of scissors. You need your marking tool, pencil or chalk. You need your rulers, and you need your ready-made mat. You are welcome to class once again. Okay, so we have our measurements. What do we do next? Like I told you, when you have 2 yards of fabric, you're good to go. So here is my 2 yards of beautiful Ankara fabric. We are going to be preparing our fabric. The first thing you should do is to prepare your fabric. If your fabric has, this is an all-way fabric, if your fabric has like names or numbers, you will do well to arrange them or align them as is. So this is my 2 yards of fabric. I have folded it into 2. So you get your 2 yards of fabric, you fold it. You can either do the right side, which is the good side, or the wrong side. So I'm doing mine on the good side, which is the right side. So I've folded my fabric into 2 on the selvage. So this is a selvage. Wherever you see that writing and you can read it correctly, that is the selvage. For other fabrics that have almost the same front and back, when you turn it into the wrong side, you will not be able to read. You see that the wordings are reversed. You won't be able to read it correctly. That's how you know that it is the wrong side. So after folding my fabric on the self edge, for instance, you know that my top length is 31, and when I measure it, because some of us may have, okay, what if I have 6 yards? What should I do? What you should do is measure your top length. My top length is 31 1 inch. This is whenever I'm done with sewing, I want my top to finish at 31. So what you just do is measure your 31 inches 2 times. If you are not working with 2 yards like myself, you are working with 6 yards, measure your 31 inches twice. So 31, 31 first, then you take your tape and measure it again, and then add allowances. If my top length is 31, definitely I should add like 2 inches, which is what I've added to mine. My 31 plus 2, that's 33, and I measure my 33 2 times, and this is what I actually have on here, and I'm going to be showing you that real quick. So after I have folded, I like to make that explanation because so if you have like whatever your top length is, add 2 inches. For instance, if your top length is 20 or 25, add 2, that's 27, and then measure it 2 times. After measuring that 2 times, then you can detach it, and then you have this that I'm holding. So what I have there is 33 2 times, which is my top length, plus my allowance. Don't know if you can see what I have. So this is what I have, my top length. I have 33 and some little bitty things. So I'm working with that. So after I have folded it into by my self edge, so this is my self edge right now on the table. This is my self edge, my measurement. You make sure you are measuring on the self edge. Make sure you are measuring on the self. So what the next thing I would do is to turn. My self edge is on top now and on the bottom. I have my self edge on the top and I have it on the bottom right now. But the next step for me is I'm going to turn it to the side. I'm going to turn it to the side so that my 2 self edges come to the side. I'm going to show you that real quick. So when I turn it, my self edge now is on my side. I now have instead of my top and my bottom, I have my self edge on my side. And why do I do that? So that I can get my shoulder, line. So once I fold it in equal half, this is the time for me to take my iron and then get my shoulder line. That should be your midpoint, because if you are folded equally, that should be your midpoint. And then you iron and get your shoulder line. So after getting your shoulder line, remember we first had our self edge at the top, then we turned it to the side. The 2 self edges that were at the top and bottom now came to the side, and that gave us a midpoint, which was now became our shoulder line. And then I ironed it so that we can have a crease. We must never lose sight of this crease, so you must iron it to give you a neat finish. After doing that, I take my self edge on my left hand and I fold it to meet my right. I take my self edge on my left hand and I take it to meet my right. That is, I'm folding. So when I fold that way, I'm folding into 4. So there is what I have. Move it closer so that I can see. I take my self edge from my left hand and bring it to meet my right. So in that case, I now have my fabric folded into 4 places. So what you should be having now is a closed fold on this area, a closed fold on that area, and then you should have an open fold in 4. Your fabric should now be 4 by your self edge on 4 places. So I'm going to turn it and then you see closely what we have. So here is what we have right now. So you have we now have our self edge right here, and we have our closed folds right here. And don't forget that we already established our shoulder line. So this is our shoulder line after preparing. And then now that we've allowed the selvage to meet each other, we are also going to establish our center line. So you get your iron, establish your center line. Get your iron, establish your center. So with this, this is what you should have. With this is what we should have. Yes. To get the thing. Yes, so I've ironed this in place. I have my center line and I have my shoulder line. So if you need to pause and do what we're doing, then you can do that.